What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Huddle, your weekly
Roy's upside
playbook.
down.
Hey,
Roy's,
Oh, Mr. Upside Down Roy. You can't hoop that way. We're your weekly playbook helping you gain forward progress in your flooring career. We are here to help you guys win. To our new viewers, welcome to the team. Today is a very special episode. With me, as always, Mr. Daniel and Jose Gonzalez. Preferred Flooring out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We got Jimmy Salisbury, Roland Thompson, Alan, Roy, Hoop Daddy Lewis, and should be joining is Jerry McKnight as well. And today's podcast is about becoming great at the craft, which is very fitting because we got, four of the greats joining us today. How's it going, fellas? Everybody that I talked to previously as we got on was like, dude, I'm swamped.
yeah, that's crazy.
The craziest
Roland,
thing
how
about that
about
is
you?
that
You jumped
a
on
lot of
last.
guys are saying they're not.
it's busy. Got stuff lined out. Some nice size Main Street commercial jobs and that stuff going, and so I can't complain.
Good deal. Well, I know Alan's busy. He pulled over on the side of the highway or a road anyway to join us today. And Jimmy just got through saying, man, he's swamped he's busier than a one-armed man in an ass-kicking competition or a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition.
It's busy. It's busy.
Sweet.
That's good.
Well, I was going to give Jerry a few minutes to join in, let some of our viewers continue to join in, but we can always talk about the weather, but we're always going to end up on flooring on this podcast. You know how that goes. So what's the status of everybody's, 2025 so far and on looking? You may be busy right now. We've established that, but how's 2025 treating you so far, and what's the outlook?
Well, January was typical January. There was room for more. February, picked up to where it's running hard into March. But in the flooring industry, what you do in December is what you install in January, and so the last part of December is when it slowed down. So the beginning of January was on the downside, about what it was part of last year. So it wasn't nothing surprising, but a lot of people are in movement. Of course, we're in an area where a lot of people are losing their jobs too.
Yeah, that's tough. Where tell us where you're at, Roland, again. Tell everybody.
I'm 45 miles from DC and 46 miles from Baltimore. So we have a lot of people that work in government jobs that commute from here. So we have a lot of people that we had three customers that had scheduled measurements that backed off when they lost their job.
Yeah, that's tough.
That
is tough.
But in the
how about you,
meantime,
Jimmy? How's this year going so far?
Yeah, I mean, my guys never sat home all year, even through January. Obviously, it wasn't as busy as the end of the year of last year, but man, things have already. I mean, we're at full. Like, I'm already looking like, man, I gotta get some like crews to sub out to or something because it's getting nuts. Like, and I mean, every time I look at my computer, I've got like 5 estimates, and like I can't keep caught up, and which is good. I'm not complaining about that. Things are really busy right now. I don't know what the outlook when all the tariffs and all that like kick in, like what that outlook's gonna look like later on in the year. But right now, and I don't maybe that's part of it. Like people want the flooring now before the prices raise. But we'll see how it goes.
I had a letter from Shaw already came out. I got it right behind me. 17%.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. And maybe at the end of the
Yeah.
year, we're going to feel it. But we'll see. Right now, it's crazy.
That's pretty heavy on their residential. Their residential LVP lines are getting hit. Imports.
Yep.
Alan, you've been busy since beginning of the year, and how's your year looking?
Yes, sir. I've been busy. I've I've ventured out a little bit and expanded what we do. I've started doing the full bathroom remodel since we set tile and do the major parts of the bathroom where I've got a contact and just building up my reputation in cabinets and the countertops and just facilitating those and getting other contractors in to touch other parts of the bathroom basically. So that's kept us real busy through January and February. And we're still doing all of our flooring work. I'm really pushing my guys to venture out and not lean on me so much and let me be more in and out and more of the technical kind of guy to troubleshoot and to kind of guide them and send them the right direction with what we're doing. So that's kind of what I've been rolling through and trying to train my guys up a little bit better.
Love it.
Can we try to get you to flip your camera 360? See if that works. I don't know what's going on. One more turn.
One more. Boom.
There it
There
is.
we go.
Are we upside down
Boom.
now?
We got you up.
I
We
wanna
got
be
your
the
right
other
side up.
I want to
You
be
look-
the other way.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got his screen locked. Do you have your screen locked?
I don't.
Nah, he's in good shape now. At least you look good. If you look upside down to you, you look great to us. All right, we're gonna kick this thing off. Check it out. The purpose of this podcast was to this particular episode was to kind of get in the minds of you guys. And every single week, if you watch the podcast, we talk about training, we talk about excellence, we talk about pushing yourself. A lot of you guys know what that's like. We want to get a little bit of background on you and let the audience hear what it takes to become one of the greats, because make no mistake about it, there's very few people that have reached where you guys are at. So got to give a special shout out to Alan, who just won the installation competition in Las Vegas. That was
Thanks.
freaking awesome.
Appreciate it.
Had the opportunity to interview him while we were there and get to know him a little bit. How's your son doing, real quick?
He's good. He got a soccer game tonight.
Nice. We got
Yeah.
kid duty.
Goes from football to football, huh?
Man, football to football.
All right, Roland, you've been on before. Give us a quick, background on you and how you got to where you're at. I assume that first off, how long have you been a store owner?
Well, I opened up the store in the beginning of 2018. So what? That's 7 years, going to my 8th now. So 8 years for having the location where, I'm full pledged selling and installing and everything else. So, it's been good.
You've been installing since. Give us your background. When did you start installing?
Okay.
And
Let's get the
then
real time. The
tell
real
us
timeline.
Tell us when you what drove you to start.
Of course.
1856.
You lost my.
Tell us when you started getting training and such. And your camera's off, by the way. I hope you didn't fall down.
Well, my,
Need a life alert.
actually,
If so,
everybody.
turn the camera back
So,
on and press
you
the
have to
life
put up
alert
with it.
button.
You guys all come back on, and I don't. My camera says it's on. So anyway, it must be the Wi-Fi in here. I don't know. Anyway, I can still talk without being seen. But now I see it says Facebook or something trying to come on. Oh no. Anyway, I started in 1972.
Press some buttons, brother.
October. Got into it really accidentally. I was going to be a carpenter. I took 4 years of shop class and woodwork, and I was going to build houses, and went out as a laborer. And of course, at that time, trades were a big thing. Back then, and came out of a house with some 4x10s on my shoulder, stepped in a hole. Snapped my ankle, and they said, we don't need you. We got a guy here to take your place. So I needed a job. There was a company looking for a a trainee, and I got into it, and been doing it ever since. So that's what got me into
Awesome.
the trade. Of course, I always tell my
Jeremy
dad,
said
he was
that
a
you
Baptist minister, and that I'm on my knees more than he is. So, but he told me it was not the same. So anyway, but then I've been doing it, and and I grew up with the drummed into me that whatever you do right, and you do it the best you can, and whether it's sports or whatever you take on, and it was my dad's way he raised us, and so every time, even back then, there weren't many trainings. There was Armstrong and things like that, but it wasn't much. But when there was one, I went to it. So as the more trainings came out and the more things I could go to, I went to them. And I guess what made me really think about it really a lot was my oldest daughter, who was one day looking at the different things that I went and done. She said, "Dad, this is your college. This is something that you can
Yep.
reach far for, just like I did, going to college." She said, "This is your college." And I never really looked at it that way. I looked at it, I was
thank
trying
goodness
to do
for
my
your
best.
daughter.
But she said, this can sit there, and when people look at this, they know you care and what you do and how you do it. She says, by what you go learn and what you go to strive to do. So, yeah, that drummed into me to even want to do more, and want to learn more, and want to reach the highest I could at what I do.
All right.
You'll never hear me say I'm the best.
Roland, can you hear
say
us?
I know everything. All I can say is I'm going to keep trying to be the best.
I don't think he
and
can hear
trying
us.
to know everything.
Hey, Roland, can you hear us?
You guys don't hear me, do you?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
do.
you, but we're we was trying to make sure that you can hear us as well. If you can hear, there you are.
Hey, look at that. I know
He's
that guy.
back. If you can hear us, just
Turn
tell
your
me
camera.
one thing. When was the first? How long were you in the industry before you got went to your first training?
Oh, he's
All
gone.
right, we'll let him go. You're up,
At least
Alan.
100 years before he got his first training.
Yeah, they said he installed the Flintstones flooring. That's pretty good.
Well, that explains why he's having a little bit of technical difficulties with the technology.
Yeah. Alan, when did you get going? How'd you get into flooring, and when did you get your first training or certification?
I got into it with my dad whenever I was a little boy.
Yeah.
So I've always been on the job and helped him, and we pretty much ever since I was old enough to go. But I guess we could officially call it, since I've been out of high school. I got one of my first trainings, R1C1, whenever I was 17, 18
Wow.
years old. Competed in one of the early World Floor Covering Association competitions in the regional for carpet whenever I was 18, and just kind of kept clicking on with them ever since then. Been trying to collect them all up for the Go Carrera deal, and man, I looked at the list of them that I kind of collected over the years and didn't realize there was so many. So we just, every time there's a training, we try to go to them and just further our knowledge a little bit better every time.
Well, I think the results kind of speak for themselves. You are. Did you get another install of the year through
Yes,
ceramic tile? Was it?
Yeah, in 2019,
I got to remove him. Sorry, I had to remove him. He'll jump back on.
I won the ceramic installer of the year in 2019.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. So you've got ceramic, and you did, was it resilient or carpet on this last one? I kind of forget.
Carpet on this last one.
Okay.
Your
Are you
dad
going to do
was
the resilient?
right?
Get the trifecta?
I think they're doing wood this year, and I've signed up for the one in Dalton. So, yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, man. That is pretty freaking
Trying
cool.
to do the trifecta. I think I may be one of the only ones that ever won two of them. So,
well, you're definitely in
that title or not.
In a small class. I don't know that stat,
Going
to
for
be
the
honest.
Triple Crown, huh? Triple
I'm
crown.
trying. I mean, it just goes along with what we do. You know, you can't just install one type of floor and make a living over here where we're at. You know, you have to do
What was
everything.
that? Say that again. A little bit louder for the installers in the back of the room. Holy smokes!
So you can't just install one type of flooring over here where we live at. You have to do everything to stay busy, and that's one of the reasons why we're so busy.
A little bit louder.
Hey,
We're gonna have to keep rolling off until
yeah.
Can Ashley?
Yeah,
Can you
so-
call Rollin?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that where you're at, is the population. What's population where you're at?
Ah, shoot, I don't know. There's a bunch of people around here.
Yeah, I think
We're
that
probably about 2
you
hours
can.
south of Atlanta.
Okay, well, I think that that's kind of the way it is in most areas. You've got to be kind of diversified, going from several products. I started in carpet and then ended up in sheet vinyl and that kind of thing. But you got to be able to do
miss the sheet vinyl days.
multiple products.
You miss
You
it.
do?
Installed a kitchen to sheet vinyl the other day, and I was like, man, I kind of miss this.
It's a challenge, right? Every time it's a challenge, and when you step away and come back, you gotta
That's
make sure. Like, okay,
Got
we
a
got
30.
one shot. One shot.
Yeah, we
Let's
got a
do it.
30-foot drop, and I'm trying to train this guy to hold these corners and do these things. I'm like, man, I kind of miss it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy, you're up, dude. When did you get going, and what got you into flooring, and then when did you get your first certification or training? Jimmy's froze. We are having. Jimmy, can you hear us? This is a rough start. All right, Alan, you're still up. We can just keep bragging on you and your.
Oh man, I'm not much on bragging.
Well, that's why
No,
we get to brag on you. I can tell you one thing: you had one hell of a box in Las Vegas. That was. Those things are not easy to do, and you know what I'm saying. It's one of them things with the pressure on and the people watching and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're still able to perform. When I was talking to all you guys there, that was one of the X factors.
Yeah, the timing, man. You don't have time to do some of the things that you normally would do on a job. You don't have time to do everything you should do on there.
Yeah.
So you just have to make the best of what you got, just like you would on a job.
Yep. Well, it turned out looking great.
Talking in between.
Hey, Jimmy, are you back? He's working on it. Rollins back.
Can you hear us?
Rollin, are you still having technical difficulties? We should have done a little seminar ahead of time.
They got all these fancy offices, but all I need is a van and a phone, man.
Yeah, good point.
It's crazy.
Well,
It's crazy
the
that
issue
the
is-
guy in the van has got the technology part down better than the guys in the office or at home.
Yeah, boy, that's a clean ass van too.
Yeah, man, we got to keep it clean around here.
Yeah, that's one of the things. You mentioned Go Career earlier, but I think that one of the ways that installers get really good is, you get out there, you get some experience like you did with your dad, and you're working away, and as soon as you can get that first training and that first certification, and then you go and apply that knowledge out in the field, and then you kind of start to yearn for it. That's what I found from being on the board at CFI, the advisory board, is that a lot of the guys that go get all their certifications and are reaching the heights at CFI, it's that first training that hooked them. And it's like, once you go out and you realize you didn't, of course you got going pretty early, but once you get out and figure out you don't know everything. I tell the story often of a crew I sent just to go get their R1C1, and they've been working for our flooring company for us as a sub for a long time. After that training, they were like, dude, I didn't realize how much stuff I didn't really know,
Yeah.
So I see that as a big driver.
it's a little bit different for me because my daddy, he said you got to do it this way, and we did it that way. But when we went to the trainings, we realized he was right.
Well, that's
So,
good.
dang, Dad, you really are right.
And you never argued with him again after that.
Nah, you just do what he says do and go on about it.
Well, it's so your dad was in flooring as well, or was he
Oh, yeah.
more general?
No, Daddy was in flooring. He was in flooring since he was 16. So
Wow.
he's been in it a long time. He's been doing it well for a long time. He's good at what he does. I've been blessed to be able to work under him, man. I call him every day for something I got going on.
That's amazing,
awesome,
man. Yeah.
It's amazing to at what point through the career did you realize that your pops really knows what he's doing? And besides this little story you just said about I should listen to him, but like there's got to be that recognition during your installation when you're learning that comparing him side by side to another installer, you're just like, man, this dude really does know his work.
That was real early because he always pushed us to do good work. Whenever we was old enough or they had these little competitions, he was in these competitions also. So we was actually trying to go and compete against him. But, you realize, hey, iron sharpens iron around here, and Daddy didn't really cut you much slack. You did good, and you made sure your work was on point. So it was real early, man. He's always pushed us to do really good work. And patient. He's patient.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a really was he union trained? How did he get his knowledge?
No, he learned from a local guy here, and he's pretty much was self-taught before we done any of the CFI stuff. And then as CFI came along, he added to his tool belt, as we say. He was already doing really good work before he went to CFI and started getting the trainings. He was already a top tier go-to guy in our area, and he just added to what he already knew, and it's just been exponential for all the years. So
wow.
I got on a little faster track with him than he did. So I don't have one. Sorry, my guy is asking me questions. And,
no worries.
So
you fast tracked it with some additional training that was available. He probably didn't have.
That's right. So I'm trying to catch him. He still has that little artsy side to him that's put you to shame lots of times with some of the things that he does. But he's got the mind for it. He's top tier for sure. I'm lucky to be able to be his son for sure.
Dude, that's cool. Jimmy, are you back? Can you hear us okay?
I'm back. I don't know what happened. I had a call come in and then everything froze up.
Every time it comes in, it does that.
So, yeah, I'm back.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy. So tell us how you got into flooring. And then how long you've been doing it and after you started, how long did it take you to get your first training or your first certification?
Okay, so I started in '93, so it'd be 32 years this summer. Straight out of high school, I had a job moving down here. Yeah, I'm old, man, but I moved from Michigan to just north of Indianapolis, and I came as a helper. I had a job before I even moved here, and so I really just kind of fell into it. I went from $4.25 an hour to $6, and man, I thought, man, I was rolling in
the dough.
I was rolling in it, but I didn't realize, with taxes and all that, I really didn't make that much money. But I mean, it's been a blessing. I got lucky. I got on with the crew, one of the high-end stores here in Indianapolis. We did a lot of Colts and Pacers players. I mean, just high-end stuff. And then through the training, Karastan put on a training, and that's how I got in the know of CFI, because Jim Walker was doing the training for Karastan. And so from that on, I took it on myself to get certified. Went up to Tony Buckhart. He's actually done all of my CFI certifications. It's crazy.
Really?
Tony's the man. So even up to my master's, we went up to last fall, and did that. But I think I did about 10 years before I got my first one. And then once, like you said, once you do your first one, you get hooked, and you realize how much you don't know. And then I did the NFIC and realized doing Wilton, we were doing it all wrong. I don't even want to go back and look at those jobs now. or we just got lucky. We got lucky every time. I don't know, but there's definitely art to it. I just did a landing and flat weave, and we had to deconstruct it, put it all back together. I wouldn't know how to do any of that if I hadn't got the training. So it's just been a blessing. I mean, it's just catapulted my career. I can say no to retail now. Like, just people, like, if you don't want to pay it, I don't have to do it. But I know what it takes to do it. I know what it takes to do it right. And if you want it done right, I'm your man. If you don't, that's fine. There's somebody out there that's going to install it cheaper. It might not be right, but they'll do it. And so I just, my desk is just full of books. You can like carpet books. I'm always wanting to learn,
You sound like a nerd right now, bro. I'm just gonna put that
I
out
do,
there.
man. I am a nerd. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna nerd out on you for a second, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. And Jerry
It's funny, I
McKnight,
say that a lot too.
I look at Jerry McKnight. He's got his advanced commercial, and he's got his master's in NFIC. I was like, I want those. I don't want someone to have more than I have, and that always something to strive for. So.
Yeah, Jerry's he was the first recognized five hammer guy on the
Right.
on the network, and
He
once I
deserves
started
it.
talking to him, and he doesn't live too far from me, I
Right.
was pretty amazed at how not only how much work he does,
Yeah.
but also how he's able to fit all the stuff in the trainings, like just for the audience, because we talk about it a lot, and there's a lot of people who will comment like the time or the money or something's the holdback. Dude, Jerry makes bank. and and he stays busy as much as he wants to. The key that I want the audience to understand is that once you get really, really good like these guys, you get to demand a price. You get to not have to do any of that work you don't want to do, and you demand a certain ticket
Right.
number,
Right.
and it helps you to be able to afford to do whatever you want. And if you love making money, you should love getting trained and expanding into other floorings, like Alan was just talking about. Not just doing. I know plenty of people who specialize and do just fine, but also expanding your knowledge base, because at some point you reach the pinnacle of carpet and you got that next thing you can go jump
Right.
and do.
Right.
So, Roland, are you back with this for real?
I don't know.
I got it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you are. Just don't touch a thing,
I
because you're
didn't touch
looking.
nothing last time.
You probably got a phone call.
We believe you.
I got those. I did get those, but it was it doesn't ring, but it does show across. So yeah, I did get a couple of those. So they might have been messing with it. I don't know.
Probably. We
You
got
know,
you back.
Well,
now, so that's good.
We were just talking about how, if people would realize some of the installers that we run probably about 70 crews or so, subcontractors, and the number one problem with them, or problem that they bring up about training, is always time and money. And we've always tried to explain to them that, some of them may be able to do LVT, and we try to get them to like learn how to not only do LVT better, but also go take a sheet vinyl class. We try to encourage them to expand their knowledge so that they can make more money and be more versatile. And dude, it's expanding, it's believing in yourself and giving yourself a chance to become a floor nerd, like Kevin's calling us all.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Kevin's the nerd.
Yeah.
Kevin is a nerd, but he's a cool nerd. He's
It
a
just goes to
fishing nerd
show-
too.
He'll text me. I watch.
This just goes to show, and the conversation just goes to show that it doesn't matter what line of work you're in. You got to be all in, right? Like if you're
Right.
if you're doing something to make a living and you find a career somewhere, you should continue education in that. It'll help you progress. And I think just because we're flooring guys and it's what we chose to do, or it's what chose us, is you got to get good at your craft. And it's a very common theme for everyone that we're fortunate enough to have in our lives, you gentlemen included. Is you see the common theme of what you guys are currently getting out of your career is because of what you put into it.
Yeah,
and,
that's the key.
Yeah.
The comment about Jerry McKnight is, he gets paid. It's a compliment when individuals, companies seek you for their projects versus you're out there hunting for the work. It's a compliment. It's a testament to what you've achieved and accomplished. So kudos to all you gentlemen out there who are putting in all the hours and getting better at your craft.
Yeah, but I guess the main point there is it doesn't cost you money at the end of the day. It makes you it just makes you so much better that you're going to make more money because of it. And then you can expand into other stuff. Heck, Alan's over there doing full bathroom remodels, and he's probably,
sounds like so much fun.
I would guess, and I may be putting some words in your mouth here, Alan, so jump in. But my guess is you because of all that, though, you also know who to go to for the highest quality in your tops and your counter. Because you are a quality guy, because you know what that looks like, you're able to also know the other quality people and be able to do something like what you're doing.
That's right. The best thing that you can do is you can set it up for success for the other guys. And I can set my showers or my walls or my things up very well for the cabinet guys. The sheetrock work and stuff like that. You can just set it all up for the next guy even better.
Yeah. And you know what quality to look for, especially sheetrock guy.
That's right.
You know what you got to go over, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's my ploy to the
for the next guy even better.
Yeah. Oh, poor. And sheetrock guy. You know what you
I was about to do the same thing.
Unfortunately, when we hear ourselves talking, yeah, it sure is.
I did not move. We just watched him flip his phone and everything.
We watched you move it, Rollins.
He said I didn't move.
You're on.
He sounded like this.
You're on camera, bro. We caught you.
I didn't move.
Yeah. So, what drives you to continue on after you're making good money? You're pretty well respected. You got, maybe you're R1, C1, R2, C2, or some variation of that with the other training entities. We're kind of training agnostic. We just want everybody to go get trained. I don't, I'm partial to CFI, but at the same time, I don't care where you get trained. Go get trained. And when CFI is in your neighborhood, go get trained. And but what pushed you once you got to that level where you kind of had what we would call a level 3 person in Go Carrera, which is, that's right before master. We look at it like a 1 is proficient, 2 is experienced, 3 is expert, 4 is master, and 5 you're just bragging. And that's how we look at the hammer rating. So once you got to that 3 level where you're really an expert, or at that point, what kept driving you to continue on your education in particular?
I mean, for myself, I was in sports a lot. Like basketball was my game, and I want to be the best. That's my drive. Once I did my R2 C2, I knew I wanted to do the masters, but I knew I had to hand sew. So then when I saw NFIC come up, I was like, I got to do that to do my masters. And I can't believe how much I learned from NFIC, not just the hand sewing, but man, so much more. But I just wanted to be the best. Like I like Jerry McKnight, man. I want to get what he has now. That I heard that he's got more. I want that now. That's my drive.
At some point, the training and the education classes and the certifications become a part of your personality too, right? Like you might feel like you know a lot, right? But you're like, there's something I'm missing. I'm missing something. And then you go there, you figure it out. And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. You could take the same class 10 times and learn 10 new things every single time. I just firmly
Absolutely.
believe that is the case.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard Dave Garden say that all the time in the classes I've taken. Like, he learns stuff from the students, as he's training. Everybody's got something to bring to the table. And if you're just open-minded to that, you can learn so much.
Daniel and I were fortunate enough to take the NFIC class with you guys. And,
That's right. That's right.
Of course, we always trying to do I was trying to do way too much at one point in there, but
Yeah.
try to balance emails and phone calls and do 5 tasks at the same time. Didn't
That's
really
right.
work out for my first attempt at the double stick. I was like, dang.
That's all right. You fixed it. It's good.
Hey, how'd it look?
Hey, it's good, man. Hey, and that's awesome because carpet's not your main flooring, but that's awesome to see you learning. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, carpet and resilient is I'm proficient in both.
Yeah. I know.
Just
Daniel
not those
doesn't. Yeah.
That was
I had to shoot.
you know what, I do gotta add to that. That was funny because when he was like, "Hey, whose is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, who did that? Who put their tape like next to the ceiling?" I'm looking around. I was looking around like, who did that? And I was like, "Oh my God, is that mine? That's mine."
Yeah. Yeah, we all smelt it before we saw it, man. Like when you burnt that tape, we knew.
And Dirk looked at me. He was like, "Hoser, I never would have thought in a million years that I'd see you mess something like that up." I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fix it.
Right.
I'll fix it.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Dave says good points, Jimmy, on the, when students come in and you learn from them. I think when you're doing those certifications in particular, you're getting not certification, but trainings that are more hands-on in particular, you start to see people's little tricks. I know that Daniel, we did a podcast one time when he was actually instructing a training, and he was like, "Man, these guys are like," and he commented on the same exact thing. They got these little tricks that they're showing, and he teaches sheet vinyl, heat welding, flash coving, all that stuff, and that's the area I love myself. And so those tricks, those little things that make your day go just a little bit easier. How cool is it you get to actually pick that up and it's not even part of the training?
Well, I tell them I'm going to steal it and tell everybody I thought of it.
Well, fair.
Daniel told me you can't patent an idea, bro.
Oh yeah, you can.
So I want to keep the ball rolling. Welcome back. I hope you get to stay with us for the remaining few minutes here. But if you were to go back, one of the questions got asked to me once, and I thought was interesting thought was, if you were to go back and talk to yourself, and Jimmy, or Alan, you might be like, you're on the right path, boy. But if you go back and talk to yourself as a younger man, what would you have said in regards to where your career's at now, and where you any advice you'd give your 18, 20-year-old self? Because we have a lot of new guys coming in the industry.
Don't look like you can see me again, but if you can hear me, put your hand up.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we're good. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Because
well, you ain't gonna win any tech. You're not gonna win any technology.
You hear me still?
Awards, yep, go for it.
I don't know what's going on.
We can hear you.
You know what?
Can't hear none of you.
I love it. I love it.
Put your hand up if you can see me. Hear me. All right, I'm gonna talk, but and if you can't hear me anymore, put it down. Anyway, I would tell myself, one, to go to do a business class. Learn that into the aspect also, because that's where when I first started I didn't do, and it took me a while to learn that not only do you have to know it, but you got to know how to run it, to run a business. So that's the thing I probably would tell myself, is that just because you know how to put something in and know how to install or do a job doesn't mean you know how to run the business to do that job correctly. So that's what I tell myself.
Love it. How about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that's a great idea. Business class, like, even now, like, I just read a book, Buy Back Your Time, like talking just
Oh,
That's
like,
a
good
great
one.
book.
Yes, it
man,
is.
I mean,
Now, why am
I
I?
learned so much. That's awesome. I love that.
Sorry.
Thanks. I was trying to do the same thing.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh,
We
okay.
can
But
hear you.
anyway, I love that, like the business side of it. And I just said that at the last convention, they asked for ideas. I was like, man, we need to do some business classes or like get someone in here, not just on installing, but like give these guys ideas, like how to run their business better, time management, finances. That's, that's what I'm getting into now, learning that side of it. Cause you get the flooring down, but then you got all that to deal with too. But
Yeah.
like start sooner too. Like I was 10 years in before I never even heard of CFI until I heard that went to the care stand and Jim Walker brought up CFI in that care stand class and like push that like sooner. Get these people like these kids coming out of high school, get into a trade school and get them into learning and getting certifications. I'm in East for 10 years before I kind of like started it, learning the school of hard knocks, doing things the wrong way. And, so that'd be my advice to these young kids coming out.
That's a good one for sure. Getting started early, business classes,
Yeah.
getting a little bit of financial. I just say a little bit of financial management knowledge. You don't even have to be a businessman to
Right.
really get it. You know what I mean? To understand how to run your finances as an installer. So yeah, good one. How about you, Alan?
I'd be along the same lines as everybody else. Just maybe starting early is a good thing because you don't get going on the bad habits and things. Surround yourself with really good people. Just like get you a mentor like Jimmy has with Jerry. Just get somebody that you really kind of look up to, and you're trying to reach that goal. It's kind of like what he was talking about. What drives yourself to be better. You got to compete. So you compete with yourself and compete with those around you. So that's kind of what drives us. And just like everybody else, get you a good accountant and do the things that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's good. Getting a mentor is what I got out of that the most. Get
Yeah.
somebody that you can look up to. Your dad for you, and
Wow.
I mean that's obviously was a great start in your career. Kevin, he said take care of one's body and health.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good one too. I spent the first few years beating the crap out of my body. I was young. I didn't think about it. And before I knew it, I was 22 and laid up in a chiropractor's, office trying to get things fixed and put back into place because I didn't take care of myself. So all those are excellent, excellent thoughts as you're getting into flooring. I think you got it's a vast opportunity. There's plenty of different disciplines to get into and plenty of different roads it takes you once you get trained. And really the one and it kind of encompasses some of them, but the one that I always think about is getting involved in the industry, whether that's with CFI, like getting involved with, and that's kind of getting a mentor, getting somebody. I was just welling at it. I went and got trained because I landed a bid that required me to learn that flooring. So I'd go get, go get that thing,
That's how it goes. That's very common.
it was just less romantic and less I wish I would have been more like you guys. So what about you, He's like, wait, I didn't know I was going to be asked this question.
The whole business thing, right? That what Jimmy said really resounded, because we have had a couple people in here these past couple weeks looking for work, and they still don't have any like bookkeeping or anything. They just end up, they're like the stores we work for. They give us a work order and then they just pay us. We don't keep track of anything. And that's not the way to be, especially when you're talking about running a business. You have to start, regardless of how small or big you are, is running your business like a business instead of just a job. You're not just working to collect that paycheck at the end of the month. You're working to build, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are. You have to know where you're winning and where you're losing in order to move forward.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. That's also knowing your worth. That was another one that I thought of, is like after I started getting good, I was the guy that was keeping labor prices down, if I'm honest, because I was still installing at cheap rates, and I had gotten trained, and then I was still installing sheet vinyl at the same price that I was beforehand, and I didn't take any of that and leverage it to know my worth and really charge better until, a couple of people got in my ear and was like, hey dude, man, you should be charging this. And I was like, oh, so that's also, you get that from getting involved in the industry or having a mentor. Those types of things would have probably helped me off with that. But all right, Rollin. All right, Jose, what about you? Last one, and then we're going to close this podcast out.
Well, it's first, I just got to echo everything that everyone else has already said. I mean, that goes without saying, and you have to start from somewhere, but having a better foundation to start the business aspect on is huge. But if I were going to add something to that, I would say, I shouldn't have taken my youth and my health for granted when I was younger and treated myself and others around me a lot better. I've been more cognizant of the repercussions of treating it more like a competition versus a career. I took a lot of that for granted, and putting health first probably would add to all that. That would be like the glue that keeps everything else together on the business aspect and the installation and the education. Like, you got to find time for you in there. No falling out of the back of semis and carrying something that I should never be carrying up steps, just to say, yep, I'm stronger than you today.
That's I was glad Kevin brought that up. That's a key thing. Take care of your body, get you some pro knees and learn how to do it right. It's a big part of that. So get trained early. I want to thank our guest today, Mr. Rollin, and then Jimmy, Alan, and Daniel and Jose. Thanks, guys, for always being here.
I couldn't help but to keep laughing every time he popped up, brother. Every time he popped up, I just knew it was going to be a problem.
I hope the audience gets that. Training doesn't cost you money. It's an investment. We talk about that on the podcast pretty often, is that training you should look at as not spending money, but investing. A difference between going to the grocery store and spending the money, or gambling even and spending the money, versus going and investing your money in a meaningful way that's going to give you a return. Wherever you think that place is, yourself is definitely that place. So investing in yourself and training and making sure that you set yourself up for success, man. So I want to thank you guys again for coming on. I know we had one short and Rollin was in and out, but we finished strong. And I hope that everybody on the podcast, especially any new people watching this, like, really listen to these guys. These are some of the best installers in the industry. The topic was becoming a great installer, and these guys are certainly great. So look forward to seeing Alan and Jimmy in future competitions, and you guys keep rocking and rolling.
And gentlemen, Don't hang up
Yeah.
at the end. Stay on, please.
Yep. It's on my schedule this year. We'll see.
All right, let's get her done. All right,
Yep.
guys. So if you like the podcast, give us a like, subscribe, give us a comment, get involved. The easiest way you can get involved is in the industry is jump on the Huddle and talk to some of these guys. A lot of them are willing to chat with you offline. Anytime you need a question, you'll make connections on here. So get on and get involved. We will see everybody next Tuesday, same time, 3:00 Central. And I just say 4:00 Michigan time. All right, guys. Well, we certainly appreciate you guys joining us. And